Hi guys, welcome to Little Wicket Railway. I'm Rob, and in this video I'll show you a cost-effective way of building digital sensors that you can use with JMRI to detect whether a train is in a section of track. So this is a bit of a follow-on video from the two-part series I did on building the Arduino sensor hub and using infrared sensors to automate the running of a locomotive. If you haven't seen it, then check it out, I'll put the link up here. So that worked by detecting whether there was something on the track at that specific point where you put the infrared sensor, which is great if you want a locomotive to stop at a specific point at a platform or at the end of a siding. But what about if you've got a long stretch of track, let's call it a block, and you want to know whether there's anything in that block at any point in the block? Now, if you were going to do this with infrared sensors, you would either need loads of them all the way along the block, which could start to get expensive and would take ages to wire, or you'd need some really clever system where it was at one end of the block and logged the locomotive in, and then when the locomotive left, it logged it out again. But that's really complicated. Then what about if the locomotive leaves some wagons in the block and then exits? Your system would think the block's clear, and that's a recipe for disaster. What I wanted was a digital sensor that I could plug into my sensor hub, which would tell me whether there was anything within that entire stretch of track, and it had to be cheap. It became pretty obvious that what I was looking for was a current sensor that I put in between the power supply and the track, and it would tell me if there was something on the track that was drawing power. Now I know what you're thinking, wagons, coaches don't draw power, and you're right, but we'll come back to that. Digital infrared sensors, digital photo sensors, digital magnetic Hall effect sensors are all available on eBay and Amazon, ready to plug into your sensor hub, and they all cost about £1 each. But there is no digital current sensor, and the reasons for that are a bit complicated. You can buy block occupancy modules specifically for model railways, but these can cost you over £20 per sensor. If you've got a lot of blocks, that is going to cost you a lot of money. Now, in my quest for this digital current sensor, I discovered a blog on the website thendscaler.com, and the guy who writes this had gone down a very similar route to me. We'd both discovered that you could buy very cheap analog current sensors, and we'd started writing scripts for the Arduino to use these. But what we both discovered is that they weren't sensitive enough to the small amounts of current that were being drawn by our small locomotives. So just like the N-scaler in his blog, I started experimenting with a different type of current sensor called a current transformer. And I actually got it to start detecting my locos fairly consistently and reliably. But there were still two problems. Firstly, it was an analog sensor, and there aren't many analog pins on the Arduino sensor hub, and I would have needed to have changed the sketch. So I really wanted a digital sensor. Secondly, it wasn't sensitive enough to detect when a 10,000 ohm resistor or two 10,000 ohm resistors were placed across the rails. And why is this important? Well, this goes back to how you detect wagons and coaches. You put resistor wheel sets on them, so two wheels with a resistor running between the two. That allows a very small amount of current to flow, and that's what should be detected by your current sensor. And this sensor wasn't sensitive enough to detect it. So I needed a way to turn my analog sensor into a digital sensor and to make it a lot more sensitive. And I'm not brilliant at electronics, so I nearly gave up until I discovered MERG, the Model Electronic Railway Group. They're a community of super smart guys who have developed a load of electronic kits specifically for model railways. It costs £21 to join, and that gives you access to not only all their electronic kits to buy, but also their wealth of knowledge. And when I found out they had a circuit for a block occupancy detector kit, I had to give it a go, especially considering the whole kit costs roughly £3 per sensor. They sell two types of kit, one with 2 sensors and one with 8 sensors. It comes in a little pack of components and you have to assemble it yourself, and it does involve some soldering. So I put one of these together and then set up a little test track. I divided my test track into 2 blocks, block 1 on the left and block 2 on the right, and those are separated by some plastic insulated rail joiners. Each block has a separate power feed. Now, it's really important the blocks are separated from each other using the insulated rail joiners, and that they have their own power feeds, because it's these power feeds that you attach the current sensor to detect whether a train is in that block. So here's my setup. I've got the power supply running through the current sensors to each of the power feeders to the blocks, and I've got the outputs from the sensors plugged into my sensor hub. Now I'm going to set everything up in JMRI. So launch Panel Pro, and If you've done the other tutorials, you should already have your sensors set up in the sense table. Go check out my other tutorial if you want to know how to do that with the sensor hub. So just double check that. We've got, yep, there are all our sensors. So what we're quickly going to do is run the sensor scan script, which is in here. So that should be running. Now I'm going to show you how to represent blocks on the panel layout. So we're going to go new panel, layout editor, and we are going to quickly build a very simple layout. So we're going to put down 2 end bumpers. So you select end bumper, hold down shift and left click there. And we'll come across 6 blocks and shift left click there. Then we'll do anchor point down here in the middle, shift left click. Then we'll do a track segment, so hold down shift and hold down left click and drag. Same again over here. We've not quite moved that in the right place, so let's just move that down. Then we're going to change to ellipse and flipped, change to ellipse and flipped. So there is our layout represented in layout editor. Next thing we're going to do is go to our tables again, and we're going to double click on blocks, which brings up our blocks table. You're going to click add. Will automatically generate system names, but we're going to give it a username of left block and right block. So there are 2 blocks. We're going to attach sensor AR2 to the left block and sensor AR3 to the right block. We can close that. And now if we come down here, we can go to edit, and we want to give it left block, and we'll just edit it to change the color to be blue because it's easier to see. So we don't need to change anything else in here. Click apply, hit OK, click done. Over on here, we're going to do the same thing. Edit, block name, that's going to be right block. Edit, create block, going to change it to blue again because I can see it better. And this sensor is going to be AR3. Apply, OK, done. So now we are ready to test run our train. So I'll get that on the tracks and we'll come back to this. If you do fire options, come out of edit mode, and we'll open a throttle, select the compound, and we are now ready to run. So I'll get the train on the track and we shall see whether this works. So I've got my loco on the track and I am going to turn on the power and see whether this works. So immediately we've got AR2 sensor active, and that's attached to our left block, so that's gone active. So let's turn our loco onto forward and move him around and see whether the next block goes active when he crosses over in the middle. And there we go, that goes active. And our left block's gone inactive, so let's just move him back again, check that. Left block goes active, right block goes inactive. So that's working perfectly, and that's exactly what I was looking for. Now we'll remove the loco and we'll do a quick test with resistors to see whether it can pick up a set of resistor wheels. Okay, so it didn't work with a single 10,000 ohm resistor, but I've got 2 here and it is detecting them very accurately and consistently, which is fantastic because it just means you need to fit your wagon with 2 sets of resistor wheels, or you could fit it with 1 set of resistor wheels using a slightly lower value resistor. I'm sure that would work as well. Let's just try it on the other block to make sure that also works, and let's just make sure it's making a contact. There we go, it's detected them. So that is all working well too. So there you have it, cheap digital block occupancy detection that you can plug straight into your sensor hub. Yes, you'll have to pay to join MERG, but the cost of joining is the same as a single commercially available block occupancy detector. And it gives you access to so much more than just that one kit. And yes, you've got to do some soldering, but at some point with model railways, you are going to have to learn to do that anyway. If you've enjoyed this video or found it useful, then please give me a like and a subscribe. Let me know if you join MERG and build one of the kits in the comments below, and I will hopefully see you again soon.